Good morning, everybody, and it's Tuesday, the 2nd of February. And today we're going to be using grouping and sharing to solve some problems. So let's remind ourselves of our vocabulary. We've got groups, equal groups, sharing, share between, grouping, and division. We have then got our areas we've been looking at, which is we're making equal groups. We've been then sharing them out, one for you, one for me. We've been making equal groups, so by taking 5 objects at a time, taking 3 objects at a time. Today we're going to be thinking about that sharing or grouping. Which one do I use? We have been linking it to the bar model, and we've got our division facts of dividing by 2, 5 and 10, which we'll look at later this week. First of all, let's warm up our maths brains. Here we go. Press pause and have a go. Super. So let's have a look. So 23 is 2 tens and 1, 2, 3 ones. And we're going to add it to 42, which is 4 tens and 2 ones. Let's add our ones together and we get 5 ones. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens. So 6 tens and 5 ones gives us 65. What is 9 more than 19? We can see we've used the number line here to help us. So 1 more makes 20. We then need 8 more to make 28. So 9 more than 19 is 28. Okay, we've got a little tens frame down here. Let's have a look at the tens frame first. So we've got a whole 10 and one extra one, which makes 11. So 20 equals 11, add something. Well, what do we need to add to make it up to 20? That would mean 2 tens frames overlap. Well, I need to add 9 more, because there's 9 empty spaces. Okay, and finally, is 1/2 shaded? Now, I'd like to think of this as a chocolate bar. And if I was getting half, I would like to have the same amount as my friend. Now, if I gave my friend this piece and I had this piece, are we getting the same amount? No. Because if we cut it in half, we would be looking more to put the line here. And this would be half and this would be half. So no. 1/2 is not shaded. Okay, so what are we looking at today? We've seen this before, that our rucksack, using our multiplication. Let's just remind ourselves what rucksack means. It means read the question, underline and understand the important bits, choose what we're going to do, so solve it and then write our answer. So let's start off by reading this question. Evie buys 8 oranges at the shop. She shares them equally with her friend. How many do they get each? So I've read my question. Let me underline some important things. So I've got to underline 8 oranges, and I've got my 8 oranges here. She shares them equally with her friend. So I've got Evie here. I'm just going to draw Evie, and I'm going to draw her friend, just to help me understand. And shares is an important word as well. So I've underlined some important information and I've drawn a little picture to help me. What am I going to choose to do? So I'm going to be doing 8, it's a bit tricky to find my divide sign, shared between 2 people. Now let's remember, we've chosen what to do. Now how do I work that out? So let's remember that sharing is 1 for Evie, 1 for her friend. 1 for Evie, 1 for her friend. 1 for Evie, 1 for her friend. 1 for Evie, and 1 for her friend. So sharing is going 1 each until they've got the same amount, equal groups. So I've now solved the problem by giving each person the oranges. So I need to answer my question. So I'm going to write a little sentence saying, Evie and her friend get 4 oranges each. Ooh, my full stop light's giving it. Putting 2 full stops on. So there we go, and I have solved and answered that question. So now it's your turn. Press pause and have a go at this question. I'll go through it afterwards. Brilliant. So, first of all, I hope you read the question. James has 6 bread rolls. He shares them equally between him and his sister. How many do they get each? So we've read the question out loud. Let's underline some important things. Well, 6 bread rolls is important. Share is important, and him and his sister. So I'm just going to draw James here, so I know I've got James, and I know I've got his sister. Okay, so I've underlined some important information. I've drawn a few little pictures to help me understand it. So now I need to choose what to do. So I'm going to choose to do 6 shared between our 2 people. So I've got 6 bread rolls, and I'm going to share them. We've got the word share underlined between the 2 people. So let's have a go. 1 for James, 1 for his sister. 1 for James, 1 for his sister. 1 for James, 1 for his sister. So I have chosen what to do. I've chose to do 6 divided by 2. And I solved it by moving my bread rolls to each person. Now let's just write a little answer. So we can say that James and his sister each get 3 rolls. Okay. It's important to write rolls because we're not sharing out fish. So those 2 examples we've just done were sharing. Let's have a look at this question. Imran has 10 ice creams. He eats 2 every day. How many days will the ice creams last for? So I've read my question. Now let's understand it and underline it. So I've got 10 ice creams and he eats 2 every day. How many days will they last for? So I've underlined some important information. I now need to choose what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose to do 10 divided into groups of 2. I'm going to be using grouping. I'm going to be doing it by making groups of 2. Got 10 objects, I'm going to make groups of 2. So let's solve it. So this is Monday's ice creams. This is Tuesday's ice creams. Wednesday's ice creams. He eats 2 on Wednesday. He eats 2 on Thursday. And he eats 2 on Friday. So I've solved it by saying, well, each day he eats 2, so there's 1 day's ice creams, another day of 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 ice creams. So we have got to write our answer now. And I can write that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can write the ice creams will last for 5 days. Super stuff. So we've now got one for you to have a go at. Work through rucksack, and I'll go through it with you in a second. Brilliant. So now you've had a go. Let's have a go together. Let's work it through. So I'm going to read it. Amy has 10 cupcakes. She puts them onto plates in groups of 5. How many plates does she need? So I've read my question. I'm going to underline some important information. She's got 10 cupcakes. She's going to put them onto groups of 5. How many plates does she need? So I've underlined it. So what are we going to choose to do? I'm going to choose to do grouping. I'm going to be doing 10 into groups of 5. Let's make those groups of 5 to solve it. So here we are solving it. Here's one group of 5. And here's another group of 5. Well done. And what are we going to write to answer it? We are going to write Amy needs 2 plates. Ooh, lots of full stops, Mrs. Stephens. Amy needs 2 plates. And there we go. We have answered our question. So, your challenge today is this. First of all, we have got silver. Read the questions carefully. Let me put rucksack on for you. Read those questions carefully. Use rucksack to help you. Work out what you need to do. Do you need to use sharing? One for you, one for me, one for another person? Or do you need to do grouping, taking groups 4 at a time, 5 at a time, to work out the answer? Have a go at those. Now, well done for having a go at silver. If you're up for a challenge, we have got gold. We've got Alex, who shares them between his 5 friends. We've got Tommy, who shares them between his 10 friends. And we want to know whose friend will get the most sweets. So this is a sharing problem. Again, let's pop our rucksack on so you can remember those things. Have a go. Brilliant. I hope you're up for an extra challenge. This one has got sharing and grouping in. I wonder if you can work out the answer. Looking forward to seeing your ideas and learning on Dojo later. Have a great day.